Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Girl, I know this might seem strange, but let me know if I'm out of order for stepping with you this way. See, I've been watching you for a while. I just had to let you know that I'm really feeling your style. 'Cause I had to know your name. Leave you with my number, and I hope that you would call me someday. If you don't, you know what? I don't even remember the words. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Damon Speaks Live. I usually have a guest, but tonight I just wanted it to be us. And I'm going to try my best not to look at the numbers. I already get nervous enough. And then you look at the numbers. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down, sometimes they go all around. But I really wanted to have a chance to speak from the heart. I wanted to have a chance to tell you my story. A lot of you who have followed me or have been following me already know a lot of these things, and some of the things you may not know. But I really tonight want to be of service. And so I have no notes. I have no definite plans. I have some ideas in my mind what I do want to talk about. But I just wrote down in my journal before going live because I was just so nervous, so nervous. I wrote down in my journal, Lord, I'm scared. I don't know what to say, but use me. I'm willing to be used by you. I cannot see your comments. Unless, actually, I think I can see your comments, but I cannot see who you actually are. So forgive me if I don't say any names. I just really think it's, oh, I already do have a comment. Hi, Mom. Hey, Mommy. Okay, I can see your comments. Thank God for, hey, Melody. Thank God for the wonders of technology that allow me to go and stream live from my Facebook page. The Facebook page that I manage, Damon Speaks, and Damon Speaks on YouTube. I originally thought that I needed to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube to go live. That's not the case. You need 1,000 subscribers to go live on YouTube if you want to go live on mobile, if you want to go live on your phone. So I've been struggling the last few weeks because I do believe that I have a gift. I do believe that I have something to say. And I am constantly encouraged by all the people that have come and told me that I bless their lives in some way. But I was struggling because I wasn't seeing the fruits of my labor, per se. There would be like one or two people watching the live, and then I'll be looking at the numbers and then I will get discouraged and a mess. But I'm so grateful that I'm able to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in. So what do I want to talk about? Tonight, I really want to talk to the creators. I really want to talk to the artists. I really want to talk to the lovers. I want to talk to those people that feel things strongly, those people that may feel left out, those people that may feel left behind, those people that feel like they are always on the outside looking in, those people that are wondering when, if ever, it will be their chance, when, if ever, it will be their turn. It's easy to blame someone else for whatever we feel like are our shortcomings. It's easy to blame someone else for whatever we feel like hasn't happened in our lives. But I did a video on Monday. Today is Monday. Was it today? I forget when it was. But it said, we are responsible for our lives. That can be very difficult for us to realize. But we are. You know, you can't control if someone does something awful to you. I mean awful. Or does something awful to your family. However, you are responsible for how you react. You are responsible for how you move forward. You are responsible for how you heal. So I want to take responsibility for my feelings. I want to take responsibility for where I am and for what I'm doing. But in regards to creators, we're going through a global pandemic right now. And lots of people are trying to find their place. There are people that cannot afford to pay their bills. There are people that are dealing with anxiety and depression on unprecedented levels. And we're all just trying to figure out what to do, how to be of service, or how to make ourselves feel better if we're actors or singers wondering, what the hell do we do now? About a year ago, a friend of mine introduced me to a guy named Gary Vee. And I was like, oh, yeah, girl, okay, that's great. She was just like, he's highly inspirational, blah, 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 blah. You should watch him. I was like, okay. And then I kind of sat on that information and I didn't. But here's a word. Huh? I also talked about planting seeds. It was just her job to plant the seed. It wasn't her job to make sure that I watched Gary Vee. It wasn't her job to make sure that I followed any of the things that he talks about. And that's not my job for you tonight. I'm just dropping the seed. If you get a chance, go and check him out. Fast forward from last year to this year, I started watching Gary Vee and it's changed my life. It really, really has changed my life, and it's changed my perspective about social media and how we exist in the world. Gary Vee has millions of followers on social media, which looks wonderful. A lot of us have been chasing the numbers. A lot of us have been chasing the influencer status, and we want to get monetized, and we want to be great, and we want to do great. And we're focusing on the numbers. We're focusing on what we can see. We're not focusing on maybe that one person that we may be able to impact. We're not focusing on that one life that we may be able to point in the right direction. So my goal tonight, specifically tonight, is to just be here for one person. If I could be here for one person that may come in or may come out and may hear one thing that will change the course of their life, that may hear one thing that will help them to believe that anything is possible, that will help them to believe that all things are working out for their good, that everything is always working out for them. If I could do that, then I've done my job. If I can help somebody, just one somebody, it doesn't have to be the world, then my living shall not be in vain. Anyway, back to Gary Vee. This is really freeing, actually, because I just get to look here. I don't have to look at a guest. I don't have to notice anything else, maybe your comments, but this is awesome. Anyway. So if you're a creator, a digital content creator, an opera singer that has started a talk show, there are lots of those happening right now. Congratulations to all my colleagues. I try to tune in as much as I can. It's awesome. There can be this sense that you need to change yourself, that you need to be more entertaining, that you need to be anything other than who you are. Talk about anything other than what you know in order to be relevant, in order to gain a following, and in order to feel useful. The way Gary Vee puts it, which has changed my perspective, is all you have to do is tell your story. All you have to do is tell your story. It helps if you're able to be vulnerable. It helps if you're able to really talk about the things that are difficult, talk about the things that you really don't want to. You don't have to. And there is this sense of performative vulnerability. I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to tell you things for shock value, or I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to tell you things because I want you to think that I'm a vulnerable person. I want you to think that you can trust me. And to be completely honest, I've done it before. I've had days where I did not feel like getting out of bed. I've had days where I felt so anxious, and I forced myself to say things that weren't necessarily true at the time. There is a place, though, for those times when you speak those things that are not as though they were. That always has a place. But then there are other times when you just have to tell the truth. Say, I don't feel like it. Say, I am suffering. I need help. Hey, Jim. There is something in my eye, Lord. Okay. So just tell your story. It's helped me to stop being so concerned about the numbers. It's helped me to stop being so concerned about monetization and where my next meal is coming from. Because one thing I've realized over the years is that the money, the job, in all actuality, is not my source. It may feel like it. I get the direct deposit, I get, the opportunities and all that stuff, but it's actually not my source. There is a power that is greater than me. Christians call it God. Lots of people call it different things. I like to say higher power. In my experiences in and out of 12-step programs, like, they talk about higher power a lot. I love it because a little bit of my story, I was raised in a fundamentalist Christian church, and I'm so grateful for that upbringing. I'm so grateful for those moral values that it instilled in me, and I do believe wholeheartedly that it saved me, quite literally, from a lot of things that could have happened in my life. And there was this sense, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, Mom, if you're still here. There was this sense that I needed to proselytize, that I needed to tell people about Jesus. And I was just telling a friend the other day that I would go door to door a few times as a kid, 12, 13, because I felt this need. If I didn't tell people about Jesus, which felt uncomfortable to me, just to come out of myself. I'm not saying to be ashamed, because we are not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. But to make myself uncomfortable, to go door to door and tell people about Jesus, then I wasn't being a good Christian. And I have since come to believe within myself, this is me, okay, Damon, that I would rather live a life that is attractive so that people will ask me, what are you doing? What do you believe? Or if I can be of assistance in any way, what are you doing? What do you believe? Instead of banging people over the head, telling people that if they're Buddhist, Muslim, agnostic, whatever, that they're going to hell, that God doesn't love them, or maybe that God loves them but doesn't love the sin. That's just me. It's not for me. It may be for you. God bless you if that's your story, if that's the way you feel like you need to be, but it's just not for me. And it's so freeing to be able to say that. It's so freeing to be able to say that out loud, because now I feel literally an opening. Now I feel like I can be of service. Now I feel like I don't have to be bound by the fear and the guilt. When I was a little kid in church, I don't remember going to a church where it was like, all gay people are going to hell every Sunday. It wasn't that. But there was this feeling that I felt like I just was not going to be accepted. And there were people that say, I love all my gay brothers and sisters. I just don't believe that there's a place for them in heaven. I was around stuff like that. So the amount of fear and the amount of guilt that I carried as a little kid, it's a wonder how I have developed into the person that I am today. And actually, in all actuality, I think that it is in part because of that I have developed this sense of being able to give and being able to bring you guys the word of the day. I don't think that it is my job to judge anyone. So I create a space here on Damon Speaks. People may be wondering, like, why don't you talk about Jesus? Why don't you talk about getting saved? That is not what's on me. That may be what's on you. And that's wonderful if you feel like that's what's on you. But I create a space for everyone to come here and to be uplifted and to be encouraged. And for so long, I have been bound by the chains of my past, by the chains of what people will think of me. This African proverb came to me right before I came online. It says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy on the outside can do no harm. So as I've been able to do my healing, as I have been able to find my way, as I have been able to accept who I am, the enemy on the inside is starting to dissipate. The enemy on the inside is starting to go away. So therefore, when I come up against someone that says, oh, you really have it wrong, brother. Oh, you really believe that? Like, I'm able to say, yeah, that's what I believe. It's taken me the longest time. And to be 100% honest, I still am not fully comfortable with the fact that I'm a Black gay man. And I think that has been a block in my relationships, my romantic relationships. It's been a block in a lot of ways. But at 37 years old, I am growing more and more into myself. And if there's one thing I know, it's that life is a journey, not a destination. I could say today, you know what? I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm Black, I'm gay, I'm proud. I'm going to have a husband. We're going to have we're going to do surrogacy. We're going to have kids. We're going to adopt kids, blah, 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 blah. And then tomorrow I'll be feeling like, oh, why did I say that? And I think that we need to allow space for that. It is okay to change your mind. It is okay to evolve. It is okay. It is okay to be concerned about what people think about you. I know there are lots of people that be like, oh, hell no, I don't give up. Boop, what people think about me and nah. That has never been my story. There have been times when I've been able to say, okay, I don't really care what you think, but I always care on some level. But hey, Ronald Perkins Jr. Oh, there's something outside. Allow space for grace. It's okay for you to be afraid. It is okay for you to be nervous. It's okay. And if you find yourself in a place where you are unable to move, the fear just has you bound, that's okay too. I do believe that the only way to get through a storm is to go through. But I also believe that sometimes it is necessary to sit down. Sometimes it is necessary to lie in the bed all day. Sometimes it's necessary. Once you feel a little bit of power, then it's time to get up. And then it's time to start the journey again. And then it's time to move through the storm again. But it's okay. Wherever you are, I did a video today. And it came to me, I forget where I got this from, but it just rings true. A lot of the reason that many of us are unhappy is because we are unable to accept where we are at any given moment. I said, here we have the place where we are. We're saying, oof, I wish I had more money. Here's the money. I wish I had a better body. I wish I was dating a different person. We're here. We're trying to get here. And the unhappiness is right in this middle space, right up in there. So the unhappiness is keeping us from actually getting where we want to be. And I understand, believe me, I understand how you could think, if I accept where I am, if I surrender to the moment, if I become comfortable with where I am, then doesn't that mean that I'll always be there? Doesn't that mean that I've given up and that I don't care that I'm there anymore? So therefore I'll just stay there forever and never, never. And I want to say, no, that's not the case. Just try it. I dare you to try it this week. If you have a thought like, oh God, I really need more money, or God, whatever it may be, say, all right, I acknowledge that. But in this moment, I'm grateful for what I have. You may even list what it is that you're grateful for. And the more you're able to experience acceptance, gratitude, surrender, contentment, the more your vibration will rise. What do I mean by vibration? I believe that we are vibrational beings. I'm super into the universe. I'm super into the cosmos and all that stuff. So the universe consists of energy. When the universe was created, however it was created, like that blows my mind. I don't even know. Like my mind will literally explode if I try to think about it right now. But there was all this energy that went out. Okay. We are a part of that energy. When this planet was formed billions of years ago, we were a part of that energy. Like these cells, these molecules, this body was in existence in some form. So we are energy. When I say vibration, light is actually vibration. The different wavelengths are the different colors. Sound is actually vibration. The different frequencies are the different pitches. So everything that we see, everything that we feel is energy, and it is vibration. So when I use words like contentment, joy, acceptance, love, peace, those are all on a higher vibration. Those make you feel good. Those make you feel like things are possible. Those make you feel like there are things that are coming your way. Those make you feel like everything is going to be all right. When I say jealousy, rage, anger, fear, anxiety, those are not so high. Those are a lower vibration. And so since there is energy, what's up, Maximilian? I'm so honored that you tuned in. So those are on a lower vibration. So if you're feeling a lot of those things, you may be tuned in to lower vibrations. And I believe in the law of attraction. That which is like unto itself is drawn. So if you're in that space and you're tuned in and everywhere you look, you see all those things that are just evidence that you ain't going to have shit, that you ain't shit, and things are not going to work out for you. You're only going to continue to attract more of that. So let's say that that's 1340 AM. That's the channel. That's the frequency. However, love, joy, peace, when you look around and you make the choice to see, oh, that person got a job. Oh, that person got a husband. Oh, that person got the money. That is evidence that it's possible for me. Instead of me getting jealous and saying, what the hell? They don't deserve that. What about me? What about all the work I've been doing? What about all the things I've been doing? What about all the stuff that I am? Why hasn't it coming to me? That's evidence of the opposite. But if you can look at it and be happy for that person, truly happy, and it's not always like, oh, I'm so happy for you. It's not always that. Sometimes it's simply the awareness. Until you can actually be happy for someone, sometimes you just need to be aware that you are not there. And that's enough. Anyway, when you're able to see those things as evidence that good things are coming for you, then you're vibing on a higher vibration. The higher vibration is 98.9 FM. So you have to tune from 1340, which is that lower vibration, to the higher vibration and tune into that 98.9 FM, if that was the channel. I don't even remember what the channel was. FM, AM, doesn't matter. And then when you're tuned to the higher vibration, you'll just notice that things are working out for you. You just notice that things are going well for you. You just notice that, things seem to be happening for you without much effort, that it's easier to surrender, that it's easier to allow, that it's easier to just be. How? Damon, how? How do I raise my vibration? I feel shitty. I feel like nothing is working out for me. There's COVID-19. COVID-19 stole all my gigs. I'm not on Broadway. I'm not in the Opera House. I'm not on TV. I'm not doing anything right now. So how do you expect me to feel better? Valid point. Again, it goes back to acceptance. It goes back to surrender. We, as humans, love to be in control. We love to have things go exactly the way we want them to go, exactly at the time, because we're planners. Most of us. I'm a future tripper. Like, I meet somebody and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be my husband. Or I meet somebody and see someone on the street and be like, oh, I can see us getting married and how many kids we're gonna have and the house that we're gonna have when we retire in Florida. That's me. That may not be you, but that's me. And then I get glued to, you're welcome, Travis Paquet, I love you. Then we get glued to the way that thing has to be. We cannot separate ourselves from it. And it is beating us over the head every day because it's not happening the way that we want it to happen. But if you're able to surrender, if you're able to accept that maybe you're not in control and that maybe things are not going to be happening the way that you think that they should happen, then let me say it like this. We're like corks. Abraham Hicks, you should also check them out. Abraham Hicks says, we're like corks. A cork naturally floats on the top of the water. But if you hold it down under the water, it's not going to float. It's going to be there. So if we let go as much as we can of fear, if we let go as much as we can of resentment, if we let go as much as we can in any given moment, sometimes you're not able to fully wipe it out and you feel bad about that. So then everything is compounded on top of each other. I feel bad that I can't do this. I feel bad that I can't do this. If you're able to say, you know what, I'm feeling anxious, I'm going to let go as much as I can. I'm still feeling anxious, but I'm going to let go as much as I can. Then you rise a little bit more. You rise a little bit more. When you're able to let go, you shoot up to the top of the surface. Our natural inclination, our natural beings are light and love and energy. We want to be floating at the top. So let go as much as you can. If you're in a lower vibration space, let go as much as you can. Surrender as much as you can. Listen to positive things. Call positive people. Write out your desires and your wants. Mindfulness and meditation is a great tool to raise your vibration. Abraham Hicks would say, meditation is your superpower. Damon, I don't know how to meditate. My mind won't stop racing. My mind won't stop going. Okay. In my experience with mindfulness, it helps for me not to be super spiritual at first, just to set aside 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour. Start with what you can, whatever time you have, and just sit quietly. Your mind may be racing. Your mind may be thinking about all the things that you need to be doing. Just sit there anyway. It's a practice. It's a muscle. It's a mindfulness muscle. It's a meditation muscle. You have to practice and you have to develop it. And then as I would sit, my mind would start to quiet. And I would start to feel like I was able to hear or to feel the vibration of my higher power. Love, peace, joy, grace, favor. It may only be for 30 seconds out of 5 minutes. It may only be 5 minutes out of the 15, but that's all I need to help raise my vibration. I suggest that you do it in the morning. As soon as you wake up, before you look at your phone, before you let the day come in, greet your higher power. Just try it. Let me know how it goes for you. Just try it. Be willing to try. For those that are in the Christian tradition, read your Bible, pray, meditate on those verses. Then your vibration begins to raise. There's somebody out there, and you know what? I don't claim to be clairvoyant because it's kind of scary. Who knows where my journey will lead me? I know that I am fascinated with prophets. In the church that I grew up in, we called them prophets, people that were able to see the future or to sense things. And sometimes if I'm quiet and I'm listening, I feel like I'm getting a download. Again, it doesn't come as words, audible words. It comes as vibration. I feel it, and then I'm translating the vibration into words. But there are obviously people out there that feel discouraged. And you feel like no one understands you. You feel like it's never going to happen for you. I'm this old. It's never going to happen for me. I've never gotten into this young artist program. It's never going to happen for me. And the reason why you're coming across this, whether you're on this live or whether you will see this somewhere later, is because this is a message for you. All things are possible. I know people say all things are possible if you only believe. People think, oh, that's such a crock of boo-boo. Only believe. Look at all the things that are happening out in the world. You don't know how I was raised. You don't know the things I wasn't given. You don't know the love that I wasn't given. You don't know how I was abused. How can you say that all things are possible if you only believe? I can only speak from my experience. I was bullied in school. I was a happy kid. There were things that were happening in the home. Some emotional turmoil. But for the most part, I was a happy kid. And then I went to school. And I was told that I was a fag. I was told that I was too fat. I was told that I had an egghead. And those things got deep inside of me. And I remember the day that it was about 5 or 6 kids wanted to fight me after school. For what reason, I don't know. They jumped on my back. And one of the parents grabbed me. She got them off of me, and she grabbed me and took me home. It was rough. It was rough. If you have gone through that, I know the fear. I know the anxiety. I know the low self-esteem that produces in someone. Middle school. Picked on. Too chubby. Too fat. Not masculine enough. I mean, some of these kids were literally hell raisers. And one thing that I've come to realize is that these babies were a product of maybe something that was going on at home. Hurt people. Maybe it's possible that someone is born that way, just hating the world and wanting to shit on other people. But hurt people. So I've been able to find some grace for them. And I'm friends with several of them on Facebook. And I have not had a conversation. I believe that when it comes to difficult conversations for me, I'm often given the opportunity, and I know when the perfect time is for me to have these conversations. Perhaps they will happen. I'm good either way. Middle school, picked on. I loved to sing. I sang at a talent show in 7th grade, I think it was. And a girl just walked up to me afterwards, was like, what the fuck were you doing? Like, ugh. The hurt, the pain, the anxiety. And then I got to high school. Still picked on. I mean, one of my best friend's sister really picked on me. I tried to hide my body. I tried to I thought my nostrils were too big, so I would always like kind of try to do this. But I found a community of friends that I love and that love me. We're still friends today. And I also started to come to terms with my sexuality. It was a Detroit performing arts high school. And hi, Tamlin. Hey, Ronez. Hey, cuz. And so there was a gay gang And I was terrified, petrified that anybody would think that I was gay. It took me a long time to actually come to terms with it myself. Anyway, but they were my family and they accepted me and they loved me. However, at this young age, I was highly impressionable. And while I was the ultimate church boy, I'm talking speaking in tongues, I'm talking dancing, I'm talking, you would not think that I knew anything about the worldly stuff. I when I was in ninth grade, I skipped school to have my first sexual experience with a man that was, I was 14, he was 18, I think. I had no one that I thought that I could tell that to. I had no one in my family that I thought would understand, and the fear and the anxiety and all those things. So parents, I love my parents. My parents may be watching. It's not your fault because you just didn't know. But if you're a parent and you have a young child, and you may know or you may not know that they have same-sex desires or just different, make a space for your children. Make a space for your children to come and tell you anything. Don't beat them. Discipline, yes. But don't beat fear into them. Because a lot of the times, and I'm not a parent, I don't know, but I know. Because of what I felt as a kid and what I saw. A lot of the times when people were beating their kids with extension cords and belts and rulers and whatever they could find, it was the anger. It was not the love that was causing this discipline. And we felt that. We feel that, especially as little kids. We're much more aware when we're younger than when we are when we're older because we put on a lot of layers of different things. Anyway, ninth grade, these people start to accept me after years of bullying. And I started having sex at an early age, and I started skipping school, and I started drinking and smoking. 14. And those that know me that have never heard this before will be surprised to think, what? This is my story. This is my song. And I told God, I was like, God, I just want to be used tonight. And I know that this is going on the internet, and I know that a lot of people will see this. But if me sharing my story can save one life, if me sharing my story, no matter what the repercussions are, can help someone, I said, God, I'm willing. So here I am. This is my story. Went through high school, got an amazing opportunity to go to the Interlochen Arts Academy. It saved my life. I often don't talk about this, but when I was 16, I went to a prayer breakfast with my uncle. And I had been reading my Bible every day, just trying to be a good Christian. Brian, I do. Thanks for tuning in. I love you. I do have some big nostrils. And I will say that I have grown into my looks. I do feel like I'm fine today for the most part. But got an opportunity to go to the Interlochen Arts Academy. And when I was 16, I was reading my Bible a lot, and I felt closer to God than I had ever felt. And it was scary because I always believed that the way to be in God's will and the way to do what God wants you to do is to do something that you don't want to do. God will always call you to do something that is uncomfortable and that you don't want to do. And so I thought to myself, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. So I started to feel like, oh, maybe I should be a minister, follow my father's and my uncle's footsteps. And this is crazy. So I went to this prayer breakfast, and this minister told me to stand up. He was like, young man, you've been having some ideas about something to do for the Lord. I want you to come and talk to me after the prayer breakfast. And I was like, okay. So I did. And he was like, I feel something on you. I think it's ministry. Like you're supposed to be a preacher. And I was like, oh, God, I hope not. I hope not, Jesus. But so I went and told my pastor. And he was like, oh, son, I don't know. I think we should pray on it and see. So then a few weeks later, he comes back to me and it's like, yeah, I think you're supposed to be a minister. So I was like, oh God, oh God, oh God. So when I was 16, I did a trial sermon at my apostolic church. And my grandmother was there. God rest her soul. She was so proud. So I started preaching, and I started being in the pulpit every Sunday. And I even preached at like a few guest churches, and I was like, okay, I guess this is it. But I always knew that there was something underlying. I always knew that there was a sexuality thing. I always knew that I really liked men and that was not cool in the church that I was in. So I was presented an opportunity to go away. I got a full scholarship the last few weeks before my senior year to go to Interlochen Arts Academy, and I took it. And I had a feeling at that point that if I went to Interlochen, that I would be saying goodbye to ministry for a while in that way. Because I was thinking maybe I'll go to Morehouse College. Maybe I will. Yes, Carl. Hey, Carl. That I will become a minister. And I thought to myself, I'll lie. And I'll say that I'm delivered from homosexuality. I had a situation at church where one of my favorite female ministers, I went up to her one Sunday and I was like, I need a prayer. I need you to pray that I will be delivered from homosexuality. And she was like, okay, I'll pray for you. But I have to tell the pastor, right? And I was like, oh, yikes. So she told the pastor. And, there are arguments on both sides. Like, she has to tell him because he's the head, or maybe she should have kept my confidence because I came to her in confidence. Either way, he called me into his office and he was like, it doesn't surprise me that you are having these feelings because your father hasn't been there for you as a kid, and, because you're into music. And I've seen the way you lift your hands. I've seen the way that you praise the Lord. I've seen the people that you bring around here. So it's no surprise to me. So you have to be silenced. You cannot sing in the praise team. You cannot be in the pulpit. You have to be silenced until you can come back and tell me that you have been delivered from homosexuality. The hurt, the pain. I was already feeling like I was separate. I was already dealing with all these feelings. I was already feeling so separate for the majority of my life, except for when I was a little kid. I've always felt like I was on outside looking in. Like I didn't receive invitations to go hang out with the church people after church, when I was at this church when I was a teenager or whatever. Hurt, pain. And I think a lot of people that were in the church and that rail against the church do so because of the pain. They do so because of the hurt. It's really hard to get over. It's really hard to heal from. So I left. I went to Interlochen, then Eastman, then University of Michigan. And it was always in the back of my mind, like, boy, you're supposed to be in the pulpit, right? But here we are. We have arrived at Damon Speaks. And for now, I'm still evolving, but for now, I see this as my ministry. For now, I see this as the way that God is using me, and I'm willing to be used. I may not be affiliated with any specific church. I may not be in anyone's pulpit, but the way that I live my life and the way that I endeavor to live my life and the way that I endeavor to tell my story and to help someone else is my ministry. And me being able to come here tonight and to open up my heart, I just felt led to come here and to lay it out. There are people that don't know my story. There are people that know parts of my story. But for me to really be effective and for me to really embody the idea that it's not about the numbers, that it is about telling my story and being authentic and being me and giving myself and pouring myself out. The money will come. The book will come. Millions of followers will come. But at the base, why am I doing this? Why have I been doing Damon Speaks for the last 4 years? It's been very healing for me. And like I said, lots of people have come and have said how I blessed them in some way. So I want to go further. I want to go, love you, cuz, love you, Latrice. I want to go to the next level. Leah, that's my sister, y'all. Is there anything else that I need to say? So yes, Ron, what up? There's someone that feels like I do, You put on a nice mask. You put on a good face. You smile. You may be the jokester. You may be the one that everyone looks to for light and for positivity, but you're going home and you're crying yourself to sleep at night. You know that there's something that you need to deal with. It may be sexuality, it may be childhood abuse. I don't know exactly what that is, but there's something that is standing in your way. I want you to know that you can feel the fear and that you can do it anyway. It may look like going to therapy. Black people, but Black people, get you a therapist. Get somebody that you can talk to. It may be that for a time, for a longer period of time, or for the rest of your life, you may take a pill. If that's going to keep you from taking your life, if that's going to keep you from living a life that is undesirable, do that. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody that doesn't know you. Lay your burdens out. Say, I've been having these desires. I'm married. I have kids. I have a wife, but I've been having these desires. I don't know what to do with this. Or whatever it may be. It may not be that. Whatever it may be. So that you can start living the life that God has for you. Do it exactly, because do it afraid. When I was about to get on live tonight, nervous, because I knew that I was going to be saying some things that would be uncomfortable, that would be revelatory about my life, and I didn't know how I would handle that. I can't believe that I've been talking for 46 minutes. It feels like I've been talking for 15 minutes. Do it afraid. One step at a time. If you need someone to talk to, I'm no therapist. I am becoming a certified life coach. So hit me up on that part if you need a life coach. But those of you that have my phone number, you can text me at any time. Those of you who are my friends on Facebook or Instagram can DM me or message me at any time. You can also email me at damonspeaks411 at gmail.com. I am here for you. I'm willing to be used. I'm willing to be a vessel to be here for you. So, creators, artists, those that feel led to do something with your lives, those that feel like you want to do something on social media, my encouragement to you would be to be yourself and to tell your story. I know it's easy to be wooed by numbers and viewership and opportunities, but the opportunities will come if you're in purpose, if you're on purpose, and you're talking about what's real for you. Like, this is the most amount of viewers that I've had. I just keep glancing, even though I hate to look at the numbers. I really do. That I've had. And I think that it is because my vibration is more pure. I'm not doing it to perform. I'm not doing it to surprise anyone. I just want to be helpful. If I could help one little boy, one little gay, Black Christian boy from wanting to take his life or from doing things to harm himself or herself, then my work is done. Then I'm doing a good job, because God will provide. If there's one thing that I know, is that God will provide. God is my source. God is your source. You may not believe. That's all right. Universe is your source. Whatever. You don't have to depend on that day job to provide for you. Everything is always working out for me. Even in the times when I'm depressed, even in the times when I am so anxious I cannot leave that bed, I still know in the depths of my soul that everything is always working out for me. So if I could offer that to you as a mantra for this week, in the midst of police brutality, in the midst of financial insecurity, in the midst of coronavirus and death, what is that? And death, family members sick, dying. You may have even survived COVID. You may be suffering with COVID now. If you could just say, everything is always working out for me. I don't see it. I don't even feel it. But there is power in your words. There's power in the things that you say about yourself. Parents, uncles, aunts, older siblings, be careful what you say about your children. Be careful what you speak over their lives. Adults, wives, husbands, be careful how you speak to that man. Be careful how you speak to that woman. There is a lot of emotional abuse. He may not be knocking you upside the head. She may not be chasing you around the kitchen with a knife, but there is emotional abuse. If you are the recipient of that, you do not have to continue to allow someone to tear you down. I'm not going to tell you have to get a divorce. I'm not going to tell you that you need to break up with that person. But I will say that you don't have to continue to take it. You are beautiful. You are lovely. No matter the size, no matter the color, you are enough. Exactly, sis. You are enough, just as you are. Crooked teeth, no teeth, Uncle Rufus looking, fat, short, tall, skinny, whatever. You are enough. I can tell you that till I'm blue in the face. But until you believe it, once you start to believe it, things will start to change. Things will start to change. And if you cannot believe it today, again, that's okay. If you can be aware of it today, that's okay. If you can find one thing, one thought about how worthy you are, about how beautiful you are, how deserving you are, then you're on the journey. And again, life is a journey. It's not a destination. All right. I have not eaten my dinner yet. But this has been great for me. I don't know if it's been great for you, but it's been great for me. And I think I'll keep coming back. I'll be here every Monday at 8 p.m. Again, I'm so grateful for the wonders of technology that allow me to be on my Facebook page, Damon Speaks page, and YouTube at the same time. This has been wonderful. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the supporters, for all the naysayers. I appreciate you too. For all the people that build me up, I love y'all. And I appreciate you being on this journey with me and for watching me over the last 4 years. And I think 2 or 3 weeks, it will be 4 years. You're welcome, Tamlin, that I have been doing Damon Speaks. Damon Speaks was born out of pain. Damon Speaks was born out of depression. If you're thinking about what you want to do, think about how you can turn your pain into purpose. I know it can be extremely scary to be vulnerable and to be who you really are. I have been a master of being whatever you wanted me to be, whatever I thought you wanted me to be. A chameleon. Maybe that's why I have some acting ability. Excuse me. Ooh, Lord. If you wanted me to be more urban, I could do that. If you wanted me to speak a little bit more proper, I could do that. If you wanted me to get it up, honey, I could do that too. Whatever you wanted me to be, I could be. You know what I'm saying? But as I grow into myself on this journey, I'm learning how to just be Bernard Damon Holcomb. And that's pretty awesome. It's taken me 37 years, but I'm so glad to be in this place, and I'd rather be here than anywhere else. What? Come on. Come on. Yes, cuz. I want to hear more about this book. I will hit you up after this and ask you about your book. I'm so excited to hear about it. Ugh. I'm so grateful. And this is so freeing to tell the real. You know, there are people that will encourage you to hide. There are people that will encourage you for whatever reason, for visibility's sake, for future employment opportunities, whatever it may be, that will tell you, don't say, you sure you want to talk about that? You sure you want to tell that story? Maybe it's not for you. But I know it's for me. All right. Okay. I keep saying I'm going to leave. I just love you guys. And I thank you for tuning in. Reach out to me if you need anything, if you want anything. Feel free to share this video if you think it's going to help somebody. And this week, let's practice being grateful, standing in acceptance, and standing in contentment of wherever we are at any given moment. And I'm telling you, my emotions are all over the place, up, down, all around, to the ceiling, to the basement, to the floor. Thank you, Jim. But in any given moment, practice being where you are and watch how your life will change. I believe it. I've experienced it, and I'm right along with you. So with that, I love you. I'll see you here next Monday night at 8. I have a wonderful guest that is going to be joining us. Can't wait. And you know what I always say. Keep your head up.